I think I'm not feeling this anymore. I don't think, I know I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine.
It's fine?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to break up, that's fine.
You're not mad?
No.
Okay. That's good.
But
I'm glad we understand each other.
Well, can you actually get out of my car then?
For what?
Well, because we're broken up, right?
Yeah.
So then you can just get out of my car.
But you picked me up.
Yeah, it's fine. I picked up my girlfriend.
Yeah?
I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend anymore.
I live an hour away. I can't just go. You have to take me home.
Well, it kind of sounds like a you problem. I mean, like, I don't know you. Like, are we a thing?
You're gonna let me go home alone?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're nothing, so that's not really my problem.
But, so you don't care about me?
No, there was a point when I cared. It's just, you're not my girlfriend, so.
You're gonna let me walk out?
Yeah, I actually do gotta go home, so if you could just please step out, please.
No, I have to go home too. You're the one that picked me up.
I don't know what to tell you. This is my car and you're not my girlfriend, so.
You know, I'm actually glad that they asked that question. Even though that was meant to be a dig at men, it actually is a positive sign. Because once a question is asked, it must have an answer. And there are, quite frankly, some women out there who are really not ready to hear what men have to deal with on a daily basis, because there are many women out there that are of the mistaken opinion that since many men don't talk constantly about what they deal with every single day, that they must not be going through anything. So yes, I'm really glad that question was asked, because I think it's about time that some women finally.
Let's be honest. This entire situation only works if the person asking the question actually cares about anyone besides themselves. And that's where the whole thing falls apart. Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. Now, look closely at what's happening here. She's sitting in the car with a man, most likely her husband, yet she's framing the conversation like she has no idea what men go through. That alone tells you everything. If genuine concern existed, she wouldn't need to ask. She'd already know. Instead, these kinds of videos are designed as subtle shots, not questions, not curiosity, but carefully packaged digs. The goal isn't understanding. The goal is validation. It's about fishing for reactions, not listening to answers. And notice the contradiction. On one hand, there's a claim of empathy. On the other, there's zero interest in hearing male experiences unless they confirm a pre-approved narrative. That's not dialogue, that's performance. This is a bigger pattern we're seeing everywhere. Public conversations framed as let's talk, but privately treated as let me be right. Men are expected to open up, explain themselves, and be emotionally available. Yet the moment they do, it's dismissed, minimized, or turned into a punchline. So when someone says, why don't men talk about what they deal with, while simultaneously mocking, interrupting, or prejudging the answer, the question answers itself. And to show you exactly what that looks like in real time, here's the example.
Suffering in silence. Why am I always hearing about it? Like, can the suffering in silence guys tell the others so that they'll shut the times?
I know, right? Could you imagine a man actually having emotions?
So I just got back from out of town, right? I was on a business trip, came back to see my wife, but she wasn't here and I was kind of confused. Like, whatever. But I walked into the bathroom to use the restroom and I noticed something under this towel, right? And at first I didn't want to touch it, but it's literally some dude's drawers. So she must have had somebody over when I was out of town.
Gotcha.
and must have been dumb enough. They both must have been dumb enough to leave freaking underwear on the ground where I can see it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. Unfortunately, my wife is gonna face the consequences of what she did, but I guess that's how the world works. I did do some digging and did some research, and it does end up that she was on Tinder. So it's just kind of annoying.
I'm willing to bet what comes next is completely predictable. When the confrontation happens, the tears come out, the tone shifts. Suddenly, she's the victim, not because she didn't do it, but because she got called out for it. This is a classic accountability dodge. The issue isn't the behavior itself, it's the discomfort of consequences. There's a big difference between remorse and regret, and most people confuse the two. Remorse is about recognizing harm. Regret is about getting caught. Watch how fast responsibility gets replaced with emotion. Crime becomes a shield. Victimhood becomes a strategy. The conversation stops being about what happened and turns into how hurt she feels now that the truth is on the table. And this isn't rare. It's a recurring pattern in modern relationship dynamics. Accountability is treated like cruelty, and confrontation is reframed as abuse. Instead of owning the mistake, the focus shifts to managing optics and flipping the moral high ground. That's why so many of these situations end the same way. No real apology, no changed behavior. Just damage control, emotional leverage, and the hope that sympathy will erase the original action. And once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it.
Do that job, go learn a trade, go do something.
Well, you said that that's all they're good for.
Yeah.
And what are you good for?
A lot of things.
Like?
I'm funny, I'm smart.
You haven't demonstrated that yet.
Okay, well that's your opinion. I'm a musician, I dance.
You dance?
The list goes on and on.
That list she gave, the only thing it successfully accomplishes is convincing any self-respecting man to stay far away. And that's the irony no one wants to address. We're constantly showing these endless checklists, standards, requirements, expectations, all aimed outward. What a man must earn, how he must behave, what he must tolerate. But when it comes time to look inward, the standards suddenly disappear. There's a clear imbalance here. Demands are high, but accountability is low. Expectations are rigid, but self-reflection is optional. And more often than not, there's very little being offered in return that actually aligns with what men value long-term: cooperation, respect, emotional stability, and peace. This is where entitlement quietly replaces attraction. The mindset becomes, I deserve more, without ever asking, what do I bring? And no, surface-level traits or quirky talents don't compensate for a bad attitude and a confrontational personality. A man with options and, more importantly, self-respect isn't negotiating with entitlement. He's not tolerating constant friction just to say he's chosen someone. Attraction doesn't survive resentment, and relationships don't thrive on one-sided expectations. That's the part that gets ignored. Standards only work when they're mutual. Otherwise, all you're doing is advertising why you should be avoided.
I'm smart, I'm funny, I'm attractive, I have talents.
I don't know if men are so useless that their only job is to be providing for you. It sounds like you're just a typified eater. Like, I don't know what you're really bringing to the table. You're just kind of consuming resources, right?
I mean, if you want to hear the answer that I could be domesticated and I can cook and clean and do all that, I can.
No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, what of value are you bringing to society?
By being me,
By
I don't
being
know.
you. I'm enough.
I am enough.
Okay.
I'm aware that there is criticism for this style of podcast, and people think, oh, they just bring women on to like own them, to be mean to them. But I'm not so sure. I think that there's more sophistication going on in these kinds of exchanges than people give them credit for. And I can completely understand why these types of shows took off and became so popular. Because it's revolutionary. It's not something we've seen in our culture before, at least not in the mainstream. What you're seeing is women being spoken to like they are men. That's it. It's that simple, but it's so different to what we're used to. Excuse me, miss, you just said an opinion? Okay, explain it. Justify it. Defend it. Oh, you're upset? Irrelevant. The conversation continues. These are the typical standards that we apply to men in conversations, but lots of women cannot meet these standards. There are so many clips out there of women during these shows just like bursting into tears and walking off the set because they can't handle it anymore.
Let me say this really quick. I have obviously bitten off more than I can chew.
No, you're good.
No.
Oh, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. You're a legend. You're a legend. You came in guns blazing. You're doing great.
I tried. No, I really do appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Wait, we gotta get through at least all your notes.
No.
Hold on. Just stay we'll get through your notes. I will fast track.
Can you
I
at
will
least leave
fast
the
track.
booze?
Oh, yeah, I'm leaving the booze. That's for you guys. No, I really appreciate
like
you
that's a
having me
reasonable
on.
contribution.
Yeah, I appreciate
Wait,
you
let me
having
at least
on.
fast track.
No, I gotta
Hold on.
go.
You gotta go because...
Can this be a respectful quit? Like, thank you for everything.
Wait, you can't just
I'm
leave.
not going. I'm not crying. I'm tired. That's
You're
why.
tired?
Yeah, I've been up since like 3 in the morning.
Okay, but at least, look, you provided a lot of notes. Tell you what, I will... Hold on, I will fast track...
This has been really great.
No, listen, but at least hear the offer. You gotta at least hear the offer. I will fast track. I will fast track your notes. I will fast... You said it was a rage quit? I think it was a rage quit.
Thank you so much.
I think it was a rage quit. I think you can't defend your worldview. You can't defend your worldview. I think you're a coward, to be honest. I think it's cowardly for you to quit.
It is so interesting to watch because for a lot of these women, this is the very first time that they have ever been made aware of their own privilege. They have lived a life where every single interaction they ever had only moved at the pace of their emotional comfort. It's always been so easy for them because they've always been catered to. I don't need to tell you guys, but that is not men's experience of this world. Unlike women, no one gives a how a man is feeling. Every single guy watching this video right now knows exactly what I'm talking about. You are a man. You think crying is going to get you out of something, help you avoid accountability? You think the world is going to stop just because you're having some emotions? No chance. You are a man.
He hit the nail on the head because what we're really watching here is expectation shock. When someone is used to constant accommodation, neutrality suddenly feels like oppression. That's the disconnect. Being treated equally feels like mistreatment when you've grown accustomed to preferential treatment. So the moment the catering stops, the extra patience, the special allowances, the bending of rules, it gets reframed as bias. Notice how fast the language shifts. It's no longer about fairness or balance. It becomes about perceived injustice. Accountability gets mislabeled as hostility. Boundaries get called disrespect. And disagreement turns into a moral offense. This mindset doesn't come from nowhere. It's been reinforced culturally for years, where comfort is prioritized over correction, and feelings are elevated above facts. In that environment, not getting your way feels like an attack on your identity rather than a normal part of adult interaction. But here's the reality check. Equality isn't special treatment. Respect doesn't mean endless accommodation. And no one is entitled to preferential handling just because they expect it. When men stop over-explaining, over-giving, and overcompensating, it exposes who was relying on those advantages in the first place. And that discomfort, that's not discrimination. That's adjustment. Once you understand that, a lot of these reactions start to make perfect sense.
$100 deposit before she goes on a date with a man.
If a man wants to take me on a date moving forward, I now require a $100 refundable deposit on a date. Hear me out. Man makes reservation, wants to take me out, wonderful, no problem. Gets there early. Okay, kudos for him. He calls me and says, I've made a mistake. Sir, what is the mistake that you've made? He says, I can't get in because I don't meet the dress code requirement. I say, well, what are you wearing? Because look at me. What? Okay, I'll see you in a moment. I'll be there in a couple minutes. He goes, yeah, I forgot they had a dress code. You made the reservation. You said you've been here before. And you put on a jogging suit for a first date, mind you. Do people not try to put their best foot forward anymore? And don't get me wrong. If you wanted something casual, sir, you should have said meet me at Starbucks or Chipotle. I love a good bow. I would have showed up in my leggings, the worn out ones, oversized t-shirt, and some New Balance. So you will be paying, a man will be paying a $100 deposit if you want to take me on a date. If you show up and you can do the little bitty things like get in the establishment for
The attitude on this one. Now, I get it. You don't want to show up in joggers probably to a first date. Now, he did mention he didn't know the place had a dress code, although he said he'd been there before, so we're getting a little bit of a rocky story there. But this sort of reaction to that, reacting and saying that you need a $100 refundable deposit for a date is insane. You are not a hair service. You're not providing any service at this point. You are being asked to go on a date to meet another person to see if you're compatible. You do not need a $100 refundable deposit for that. Oh my gosh. This is getting insane.
For the reservation you made, your $100 will be fully refunded before we leave the establishment, okay? Let's be clear on this before y'all hop on Beyonce's internet and say I'm looking for money. No, I have my own coins. But it's not every day that a woman spends $170 for a beat like this. Can we?
And nobody told you to do that. Nobody told you to do that. And
what's up with men? I don't know. I wanted to ask you, men don't come up and ask or talk to you anymore. There was this cute guy. He went to the bar at one point, so I was like, oh, let me go to the bar too. So I like saddled up next to him at the bar and kind of like gave like a look, and he looked right at me and then like looked away. I was like, okay, well, never mind. Like I was seeing something that apparently wasn't actually happening. And as we left, one of the other bachelorettes on this trip was like, oh my gosh, that guy kept looking at you. Did you guys talk? I was like, wait, what? You saw it too? I guess I could have said, hi, how are you? I don't know why I didn't. I guess I was like, I made that move. Meet me the other 75% of the way or whatever it is.
It is becoming like that. Like, I think that there's a shift in it. And honestly, women have to take more of the reins in a way. Maybe we should have a man on and ask him what that's like. Why don't they do that?
A dating expert.
Is there a dating expert man that would like to come on this podcast?
I can't remember many times of like I've been approached. And that has been like hard on my self-confidence because I've seen it happen to my friends. Specifically like these two friends that are like drop dead gorgeous, like fit all the beauty standards, like petite. Obviously I'm not like harping on them, but I'm always just like, why doesn't that happen to me? Am I like intimidating somehow? Am I putting off like a certain vibe? I like to be like, it's just my height, I guess. And I'm just too broad of shoulders for someone to approach me. But like, I've been approached by women, and so I wonder if it really is, it's almost switching these days. Like, people are just changing.
I love it. Okay, so you don't need a male dating expert on your show, honey. You should just call me. I'll mosey on down and tell you what's going on. Okay, so here's what's happening. Guys, you tell me if I'm right. In the chat, go ahead. I want you to just tell me, by the way, give me your opinion. Why are you guys not approaching women? Let's hear. I want to see in the comments. I want to see in the chat. I'm going to tell you why I think you're not approaching women. First of all, you've had enough. You're tired of getting used and abused, right? So typically you used to approach women, get laughed at. Oh, women are wanting you to approach just so that they can get attention and validation about how good they look that night, get their free drink, and then they drop you like a hot potato, right? You get ghosted. Oh, can I have your number? Sure. Get your 2 free drinks, the girl, and then she's like, bye. And then you go to text her, either ghosted or you find out she gave you the wrong number. Don't you love that when that happens, when they give you the wrong number? And then you're writing something rando and they're like, oh, I'm not Amy. And you're like, wow, I just spent, all that money, spent 2 hours with this girl, and now she's at the after party with somebody else and gave me a fake number. Girls, you do it. You know it. They're tired of that. They're tired of now, especially with social media. It's blown up the whole game because you can see the girls laughing at you, making videos, gold diggers everywhere, talking about how, oh, you're so ugly. Oh, you don't have all these oh, I went out with him, but he's only 5'8", so I didn't take him seriously. But I drank all his drinks and all his bottle service. Ha ha.
If this breakdown resonated with you, trust me, the next video takes this conversation even further. It connects the dots, exposes the patterns, and goes deeper into what most people avoid saying out loud. Click into the next one. I'll see you there.